Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Got it. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I'm repeating this very important point, ladies and gentlemen. Communicating with different bosses. You have different bosses, not difficult bosses. They only become difficult when you press their hot button. So if you press their hot button, you are asking for trouble. So you have all kinds of bosses in our journey, why can't I? Okay, let me. Okay, there are three types of bosses only we are going to talk about here, and most of your bosses come under this main picture. One is the need for achievement. This is a boss who wants to achieve, very serious about achieving. The second type of boss is a nice boss. If you say your boss is nice, this is a guy, a need for affiliation. He likes to make friends. This is a nice boss. And then you have one boss who's crazy for power. Okay? So you please, at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you all, what kind of boss, as long as your boss is not in this screen, just tell me what kind of boss you are, you have, and then you will understand that how to deal with them. People like Joshua, I can't ask this question, he's still in the university. Farhan also is in the university, so I'm not going to ask this question to them. But please take note, when you get into the employment sector, you're going to face three kinds of bosses. So I'm going to go for the first one. This is the guy for achievement. His human needs is for achievement. His standards, his quality is very high. They micromanage if you don't meet their standard. Okay, if we tell you to do 10 things and you do only 8, they get very angry. If you go to the toilet, they'll ask you, where have you been? How long did you go spend your time in the toilet? This is called micromanaging. This will irritate some employees. The good part is they are effective and they take a lot of initiative. The bad part of this guy is that too much of micromanagement, gets angry easily. He's got high blood pressure, he can get stroke, and he's a type A. I don't know whether you have seen this kind of type A people. This type A people, I've known one friend who's got a son who's a type A. Very serious about work. When he comes home, he doesn't talk to anybody. He only talks to the cat. Okay? This is the achiever. Their mind is only for achieving. And they have a fear of failure. They don't like to fail. Just like the Chinese say, kiasu, okay? Fear of failure. Therefore, checks and double checks everything. So I had one boss like this, need for achievement. When he leaves his office, he locks the door and then tests whether it's locked or not. And then he goes right up to the lift and then comes back all the way again and then press again to confirm that the door is locked. So he's very scared that somebody will go and check his things in the room. So this kind of people check and double check everything. Hot buttons. Okay, please take note if your boss is an achiever. He doesn't like you missing deadlines. Okay, if you miss the deadline, he will blow his, you have already pressed his hot button and he'll blow his top. And if you say, I cannot do, again, he employed you to do the job and then you say, I cannot do, problem. And then repeating mistakes. If you make a mistake, okay, but if you repeat a mistake, he will get very upset. You are pressing the hot button on him and he will blow his top. So these people are actually different. They only become difficult when you press the wrong button. So if anyone complains to me that my boss is very difficult, I have to tell them, why is he difficult? Did you press any of his hot buttons? I will ask them what type of boss you are, they have. And then I have to tell them, you already got a boss. He makes a lot of decisions, but don't upset him. Okay. Next one, we shall go to the next slide. The next character. This is the Mr. Nice Guy. Need for affiliation, likes to make relationships, and very feeling person. Hello, brother, how are you? My present boss is like this. He is a CEO, warm, friendly, low maintenance. That means you don't have to do much to please him. Ever forgiving. Okay, it's okay. You made a mistake. It's okay. Bad part is he trusts people too much until they themselves will betray him. The fear is rejection. He doesn't like to be rejected. Hot buttons, betrayal. If you go to another department and talk bad about him, you are pressing his hot buttons. Bypassing him and going to his boss, he gets very upset. Okay, so these are what we call the nice bosses. And if you go and press these hot buttons, this one, I cannot forgive you because he's a nice boss. He's giving you all the chance to work nicely in your office. And you go and press his hot button. I will not forgive you for this. I've already told you. There are many people with nice bosses and then they go and bypass him because they think that he's a very slow guy and go and inform his boss's boss about him that he's a slow person and is not achieving, and he gets very upset. Okay, so my boss is a CEO. He is a person very ever forgiving, very spiritual person, and he is making profits. Okay, so he can also be an achiever as well as an affiliated person. So this is the second person. Now the third person. Now these are the crazy guys, need for power, influence, impact, better control, socialized power. That means in any situation, he must win, you must lose. There's no such thing as win-win. Normally we deal with people, we say you win, I win, we share. But I don't like, but he will say, I win, you lose. Okay. The good part of him, he is in charge. Okay, he takes control. The bad part of him, he micromanages and he's a control freak. He wants to control your life also. I don't want you to speak to others in other departments. I've seen a few bosses like this. You can't even speak to other department people because the moment you speak into other department, you're going to talk bad about your boss. And they will talk bad about your boss also to you because everybody knows your boss is a very bad person. Fear of losing control. Okay, so any call come from head office to the branch and he is a power crazy guy. He wants to know what was said. You cannot talk to head office without informing him. Hot buttons, disrespect, and challenging him in public. When he gives a conference and then you challenge him there, yet you're gone. Okay, that is your funeral. Okay, so we have three bosses. Very simple. Most of the bosses come under these three categories. The person who wants achievement, the person who affiliation, and the third one is the power crazy guys. I've already given you the hot buttons. So when you go to office, make sure that you know how to study your boss, know where is his hot button. Once or twice he will get angry with you because you already tapped his hot button. So make sure you know what is his hot button and don't press it, especially if you come late and this is where he's going to blow his top. Okay? So Michael, can you tell me, if it is not too confidential, what kind of boss do you have? If it's confidential, pass, say pass.
It's okay. I can just, I don't have to mention names, right?
Yes.
So my boss is definitely an achievement-oriented person.
Achievement, okay.
Yeah, she got into her position at a relatively young age. So I can see she's really workaholic and all. And yeah, she also did mention, but yeah, very focused on results and all. And she also doesn't micromanage. But she also did mention this point. If I have to micromanage you, it means you are doing something really wrong.
Okay, she's already told her hot button already, yeah?
Yeah, she already mentioned it directly.
Good. At least she is clear, okay? So that you don't give her high blood pressure and stroke, okay? You know what they say about high blood pressure? when the blood pressure goes up, your arteries harden, you go for bypass. After that, you pass by. So your boss will go for the funeral. So don't kill your boss. Huh? If at least you can manage your boss, is very good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we just did an example. Anybody who has worked for a power crazy boss? Lechu, have you worked with a power crazy boss before?
Oh yes, many times were power crazy bosses. Indeed, if I've attended and knew this a long time ago, I wouldn't have challenged my boss with the fellow staff in the meeting, not with what you know. So definitely, I rest in pieces.
Yeah, like in Malay, they say lawan tauke, fight with the boss, and then you get into trouble. So thank you. Rush, what is your experience? I know Rush has got some few experiences based on his past stories he has related.
Right. First is achiever.
Achiever. You got an achiever boss.
Yes.
Okay.
In Toastmasters. I don't mention the name.
Okay, I know. We know in the leadership hierarchy.
Yeah. So it's when I see your slide, I say, oh yeah, it's very true. I always press the hot buttons.
Okay. Anybody got a nice boss, affiliated boss? I already told mine. My boss at the present is a CEO. Very nice boss. Too nice a guy also. Anybody got that kind of a boss? Nobody, yeah? Good. Never mind. I am lucky to have this kind of a boss. Very nice boss. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the end. I'm going to give you 3 examples that you don't have to go far. There are only these 3 main types. You have other subgroups who are crazier. Okay. So we don't focus on those kind of areas. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the Speakers Lab on how to manage your boss. So those of you who are going into the workplace, make sure you are equipped to face your boss. Otherwise, you're going to have a difficult time facing them.